Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. There is another very common grammatical mistake, and that is the use of prepositions. Prepositions are sometimes few students they are used at the end of the sentence, which is not advisable. So you can see here, uh, is there a book which I can find this information in? It's quite odd. So better you will say, is there a book in which I can find this information? So usually and most of the time it is important that you are not using the preposition at the end of the sentence, because occasionally you can use somehow when the meaning is going to be wrong. I mean, here you can see that this behavior up with which I will not put. So here this is quite odd. So in this case you can write this is behavior which I will not put up with. But even then, if you can avoid such a situation, that's better. You can write the sentence in this way, that this is behavior which I will not tolerate. Whenever we are using preposition, it looks like quite idiomatic. So whenever this idiomatic expression is giving such a confusion to us, or trying to make the sentence vague, then you should go for the simple language. So put up with is a kind of idiomatic expression which has been used here. Put up with. Now this is when you are using in this one, and when you are using in this one, here there is utter confusion. So better to avoid this confusion, don't go too much idiomatic. Rather, this put up with is equal to, it means that tolerate, and tolerate is more easier than put up with. So then better you should use this behavior. This is behavior which I'll not tolerate, because this is confusing. So this is how you can rephrase and you can avoid the use of preposition at the end. But ultimately, in such a case, if you are using such idiomatic phrase and this is providing utter confusion, if you are not ending it with preposition, then you can use. So why it is quite imperative and we need to avoid the preposition at the end? Because the core of the language, what core of the language say that preposition, besides this information, this definition we will discuss later on, what Wikipedia says, that the word prepositions come from Latin word pre, mean in this preposition, if you don't go for the Greek, you can see here this pre-medical, pre-engineering, before, it means before. And pondere to put, mean placing something. So this refers to the situation in Latin and Greek, and now in English as well, where there are such words which need to be placed before their complements. They are called prepositions. Because why they are called prepositions? Because they are prepositioned. They are positioned before them. So then we can understand the preposition is basically a word or a group of words which is used before a noun. This is the core definition: before a noun or a pronoun or a noun phrase. Now if your complement is noun, pronoun or noun phrase, so it may be to connect these noun or pronouns with one another to make the phrases. In all these cases you may use the preposition, and prepositions are usually showing the time, the place, the location, the spatial relationship. In space, what is the relationship, or it introduce an object. So these are the you know very well the preposition in, at, on, off and to, etc. So I'm not going in detail the discussion about the prepositions, you know it very well. But I have discussed the etymological history of this word preposition, where this is prepositioned. So that's why it is imperative, and it looks odd if you are using the prepositioned word at the end. So that's why try mm, uh, to maximize this concept that preposition is not coming at the end. But if there is such an exception which we have discussed, then you can use it. And even then, if you are writing your own self and you have liberty to write, better you avoid such idiomatic expression which is confusing at the moment, and the use of preposition is quite tricky, so you go for a simple word. I'm not saying that you don't use idiomatic expression. You use idiomatic expression, but when there is such idiomatic expression which is leading up to the utter confusion, then our communication is going to be the flawed one. So that's why we can use the simple word over there. So this is the preposition, and this is the usual error of the preposition, that prepositions are prepositioned words which cannot be placed at the end of the sentence, but they are placed before the complements, except few conditions.